Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Mike Carlucci, and you're watching KNBC News. In international news, hundreds of Christians protesting the burning of their homes by a Muslim mob over the alleged blasphemous remarks made against the Islam's prophet Muhammad clashed with police in eastern and southern Pakistan. In Lahore, Pakistan, around 150 people have been arrested for setting those dozens of Christian homes on fire after the non-Muslim was accused of making offensive comments about the prophet. In national news, the fate of a suspended New York City police officer accused of plotting to kill and cannibalize women he knew was in the hands of jurors. The jury deliberated for more than an hour after Gilberto Valli's defense lawyer told them in closing arguments that the officer's elaborate plans were fantasy role play, and a prosecutor added they were, quote, no joke. In addition to kidnapping and conspiracy charges, Valli is accused of using a national database to learn personal information about potential targets. His arrest last year interrupted a ghoulish plan to kidnap, torture, rape, and commit other horrific acts on young women. If convicted, he could face life in prison. Meanwhile, in local news, a series of moderate earthquakes struck the Riverside County desert area today. The biggest quake, with a magnitude of 4.7, rattled parts of the Inland Empire and parts of Imperial and San Diego counties. The temblors were centered about 23 miles from Palm Springs and 64 miles from San Diego. There were no reports of damage or injuries. Santa Ana police are looking for a suspect in the stabbing death of a man during a brawl that erupted in a commercial district area over the weekend. Police were called to a home on reports of a fight between two men. When officers arrived, they found a wounded man on the ground with at least one stab wound. The man was transported by paramedics to a local hospital where he died hours later. Police searched the area for the suspect but were unable to find him. Meanwhile, the victim's identity was not released. Police continued to investigate a fight at an LA strip club that ended with two men losing their legs. Investigators said a fight broke out between Terrence Meeks and two Latino men. The altercation, which apparently included racial slurs, escalated and then spilled outside. Police say Meeks got behind the wheel of his car and slammed into the other two men who were standing in front of their car. Doctors said one man would have both legs amputated above the knee, while the other would lose his right leg above the knee. Their names have not been released. Meeks was being held on $500,000 bail and faces charges of attempted manslaughter and driving under the influence. And now checking the weather. Expect overnight low clouds, rain and fog. Lows tonight, 50s and 60s. Then we'll have a big wet day tomorrow. Lots of rain and thunder. Get the umbrellas out. Highs tomorrow in the low 60s downtown. The highs will be in the 60s to the low 70s in the valleys and mid 50s at the beaches. Right now it's 64 degrees and cloud cover in Hollywood. In sports today, the defending World Series champion San Francisco Giants defeated the Dodgers 16-0. Reigning MVP Buster Posey smacked 2 homers, including a grand slam, and 8 RBIs to lead the way for the G-men. Matt Cain pitched the complete game shutout with 12 strikeouts. Meanwhile, the Angels knocked off Texas 5-1 as Josh Hamilton socked his 10th homer of the season to lead the attack. Jared Weaver tossed 7 scoreless innings to pace the Halos. The Clippers, as we check the NBA, well, they spanked the Knicks at Madison Square Garden this afternoon, 125-92. Blake Griffin led the way with 34 points, and Chris Paul had 20 points to go along with 15 assists. And the Lakers, by the way, fighting for playoff survival, had the day off. At Staples this afternoon, the LA Kings beat the Anaheim Ducks again 4-1. Dustin Brown had 2 goals and 2 assists to pace the LA Icemen. That's the news this hour. I'm Mike Carlucci, and you've been watching KNBC News, Southern California's #1 choice for news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night.